Hello boys and girls, and I am Miss Kelly from the Bartholomew County Public Library, and I'm here today to share with you some stories, actually by a specific author. As most of you know, this month we celebrated Dr. Seuss' birthday in March, and so I thought it would be a great opportunity to share a little bit about that. But before we get started with the reading, I'd like to start off with our hello song. So here we go. Hello everybody, and how are you? How are you? How are you? Hello everybody, and how are you? How are you today? Good job, give yourself a round of applause. All right, so boys and girls, I would just like to know what stories you may be familiar with that Dr. Seuss wrote. So raise your hand if any of you have heard or read The Cat in the Hat. Great. Okay, now raise your hand if you have ever heard or read And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Awesome. And then some of you may have also heard another story called The Lorax. Great. These are all wonderful stories by Dr. Seuss, and he is a very unique writer. So I would like for you to tell somebody in your house right now what makes Dr. Seuss's writing maybe different than other authors. Okay, so now what I'm thinking to myself, and this may be what you've thought of as well, Dr. Seuss has so much rhyming in his stories. That's what makes him so unique. And I think it also makes him really, really fun and engaging for all. So, did you happen to know that Dr. Seuss had some lost short stories? That's true, he did. And I'm going to share for you today just one of those lost short stories that were finally discovered. So there is this collection that we have here at the library called The Bipolo Seed and Other Lost Stories. And what I found fascinating is that the lost stories in this book were actually written in magazines back in the 1950s and 60s. And boys and girls, they were in very popular magazines, such as the one I'm going to share with you in a bit was actually written in the Red Book, which is a magazine that's still around. But what happened is, I'm not sure if Dr. Seuss just didn't keep track of these really well or exactly what happened, but they ended up lost and they had to go on a search for the magazines in order to compile this book. So I have one of those short stories that I'm going to share with you today. And this one is called Gustav the Goldfish. Here we go. The man who sold Gustav the Goldfish to us had warned us, take care. When you feed this small one, just feed him a spot. If you feed him a lot, then something might happen. It's hard to say what. That's what the man said, so I tried to take care, just to feed Gus a pinch. But it never seemed fair, 'cause he always looked sad when he gulped down this stuff, and his eyes seemed to tell me this isn't enough. Then he'd always blow bubbles as much as to say, come on, don't be stingy, I'm hungry today. Gus had to have food, not a spot, but a lot. Now, no matter what happened, I didn't care what. So finally, one day, poor old Gustav looked so thin. I took the whole box and I dumped it all in. But the second I did it, I saw I'd done wrong. That fish food, I guess, must be terribly strong. The second Gus ate it, he grew twice as long. He grew twice as thick and grew twice as wide. Too big for his fishbowl, and his tail was outside. He was bursting with glass in, he was as big as a trout, and I grabbed for the rose bowl and I yanked the rose out. My mother's best bowl. But I spilled Gustav in it. But what was the use? Because the very next minute, Gustav was bigger, as big as a shad. And he looked through the glass and he looked mighty mad. And he splashed and he thrashed and he burped and he blew as much as to tell me, I blame this on you. This is your fault, because you fed me a lot. Get me out of here quick. Get me out of this spot. To the back of the house, to the kitchen I ran. I needed more water. I filled up a pan. I poured Gustav in it as fast as I could, but he kept right on growing. It did him no good. I poured him from pot into pot after pot, but the faster I poured him, the bigger he got. Then I ran out of pots, but poor Gustav still grew. Oh, it's awful what one box of fish food can do. Water, more water, he'll die in the air. And I raced from the kitchen and up the hall stair, upstairs to the bathroom, and oh, what a climb. Because the fish in my arms grew and grew all the time. Each step he kept groaning and rolling his eyes, and when I got to the top, he was halibut size. So boys and girls, a halibut is a different type of fish, and it's much bigger than a goldfish. He was almost too big for a fella to lug, but I got to the bathtub and I put in the plug, and I turned on the cold water faucet full blast. Gustav, I panted, you're safe now at last. Gustav, I panted, this tub ought to do. It holds my whole family. It ought to hold you. But it didn't hold Gustav. He kept right on growing, and soon the whole bathtub was full, overflowing. And my parents, I knew they would be very upset because the water was making the bathroom quite wet. It was up past my ankles, my knees, past my waist. And I saw Father's shaving brush, toothbrush, and paste bobbing around in the ocean. But what could I do? 'Cause Gustav, my goldfish, still grew, and he grew. He was as big as a dolphin, a porpoise, a seal. Oh, why did I ever feed Gustav that meal? Just because I was careless and I fed him a lot, I would drown in this bathroom as likely as not. Then, bang, with a crash and a terrible roar and a splintering smash, we burst right through the door. And Gustav and I shot out into the halls and back down the stairs like Niagara Falls. Then the first thing I knew, we were down in the cellar. A cellar, boys and girls, is like a basement. And Gustav, my fish, was a gigantic feller. Too wild and too dangerous to handle alone. I needed some help. So I rushed to the phone, and I quick dialed the number of Mr. Van Bus, the man who sold Gustav the goldfish to us. Come over, please, mister. He's as big as a whale. He's banging the furnace to bits with his tail. I knew it, sighed the man. This would happen one day. And he hung up the phone and he came right away. And with a lot of strange bottles tucked into his vest and a thing on his back like a medicine chest. And he took it down to the cellar and he worked underwater on Gustav for more than an hour and a quarter. What he did, I don't know. But he must have been wise, because he shrunk Gustav back to his regular size. So boys and girls, can you with your fingers show somebody in your house the size that you think a regular goldfish would be? Maybe about like that? Good job. And he said as he handed my fish back to me, it was mighty hard work, boy, but this time it's free. If it happens again, I shall charge a big fee. So next time, take care And he stalked through the door, and since then, I've fed Gustav so much and no more. Since then, I have not fed him more than a spot. 'Cause something might happen, and now I know what. So there's the Gustav the goldfish back to his regular size. All right, boys and girls, thank you for listening to that story with me today. And to recognize Dr. Seuss, I do have my special cat in a hat. And we're going to try a song that I'm going to teach you. So we're going to try the Cat in the Hat song. It goes to the tune of the Addams Family. And at the end of each line, you're going to either snap. If you're not able to snap, that's fine. You can click your tongue inside your mouth and go. If you're not able to do that, that's fine too. You can do this, just like a little golf clap. Okay, so any of the three is fine. And I welcome any parents or siblings or caregivers out there to participate with your child as well. Okay, so we'll try this through a couple times. Here we go. The cat in the hat. 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 He causes so much fun, but when the fun is done, you will be the one to send that cat away. The cat in the hat. 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 All right, let's try it one more time, boys and girls, and try to sing the part that says the cat in the hat, along with the snapping too. Okay, here we go. The cat in the hat. 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 He causes so much fun, but when the fun is done, you will be the one to send that cat away. The cat in the hat. 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 Good job, boys and girls. Give yourself a round of applause. And thank you for all those helping out there. And we're going to end now with our closing song. Here we go. Our hands say thank you with the clap, clap, clap. Our feet say thank you with the tap, tap, tap. Clap, clap, clap. Tap, tap, tap. We'll roll our hands around and say bye-bye. Boys and girls, I encourage you to please remember that we have online books. Check those out. Share a book with somebody at your house and enjoy reading. See you next time.